Lavent. So he's the enterprise application sales leader for IBM Cloud Services for Asia Pacific, based out of Singapore. Starting his career as an ERP consultant in global implementation projects, he moved on, taking team leadership, solution architect, project and program management, and sales roles over time in major SI companies. His 18 years of IT experience spans over aerospace, defense, consumer products, and travel and transportation industries and clients across US, Europe, and Asia Pacific. He joined IBM in 2007 and is currently responsible for the IBM Cloud Services sales around SAP and Oracle applications in Asia Pacific. So please put your hand together for Lavent.
Thanks, Mukesh. Thanks. Well, this was all about the presentation, then I can leave. It doesn't talk about my engineering background earlier, but we are all IT professionals, right? If we can move on to the main slide, please, before we start our session, I would like to ask how many of you are WhatsApp users? The WhatsApp users? I'm a WhatsApp user as well. So you are on IBM Cloud. Welcome to my session. WhatsApp uses IBM Cloud servers. So can you open up WhatsApp and message one friend who is still drinking coffee in the other room if you have any? If not, we have 30 seconds more to start the story. Okay, 30 seconds started. If you have any WhatsApp friends inside, I usually don't like two types of sessions. One is after lunch or after coffee breaks, because people will be reluctant to come in, and when they come in with full stomachs, soon you're going to hear some nice snoozing sounds. But I won't usually let happen. Today, I would like to talk about IBM and SAP digital transformation journey, and I'm going to put on some focus on the cloud part. This morning, from our colleagues, you have heard that cloud is one of the biggest enabler to start this digital transformation on S/4HANA and on the new products as well. So we're going to talk about our partnership, IBM and SAP, what we do for S/4HANA digital transformation, and also HANA Enterprise Cloud. Should I have a bit more time, I could have talked about HANA Cloud Platform and other activities that we have, but there are too many topics to cover. So we are going to focus on a few areas, and I would like to talk about a bit on how we run SAP on cloud. And I'm going to talk about not any cloud, but the cloud I know, which is IBM Cloud. So if you have finished your WhatsApp messages, and if you don't see a flock of people, which I don't expect to come in anyway, I think having a focused and interested group is better than a full room of people snoring around. So let's start. Today there are 3 points that we are looking into that the business leaders and future leaders which are looking into in their business. One is creating a compelling customer experience. Why it is important? Because today, with the advance of connectivity around the world, that we are all connected as individuals, but we are not connected as corporate to individuals. Right now, the corporates are coming down to the individual level and trying to create a personalized experience. One of the things which I like about Singapore Airlines, I'm based in Singapore and I usually travel by them, is whenever you step into the cabin, they say, "Good morning, Mr. Lavent." I was like, yes, they know me. I'm at home. So this is a very good initial start for a customer experience when you start giving the service. So now the other industries, such as our big rivals who are the online bookstore sellers, which you would know from the cloud group, that in the morning our colleagues were presenting. For example, Amazon. When you go and browse something, the next time when you come in, oh, you said you're browsing for shoes, right? Ladies' shoes, do you want to look also this type of shoes as well? So this is all customer intelligence gathered to create a personalized experience. And in this global world, I think personalization is the next big step in every industry which the corporates are going to take. Now, the second one is the new innovative business models. I'm not going to be a cliche and talk about Uberization of the things, which every speaker is talking about, but I'm going to ask you to think about what business innovative ideas you have to expand and to reinvent your business. So we'll come to that point about your business towards the end of the session. And the next one is the fast and flexible operational processes, which we believe one of the key initiatives is to move on to S/4HANA. And many big MNCs, which I named a few here, have started their journeys already. And I put the references there. If you're interested, you can take a short look of what operational processes they are improving. Now, without losing much time, I want to come to the main topic of this morning. So, we are looking into the business as an ecosystem, right? That's why we call it a digital transformation. In this ecosystem, what do we look into? We will look into new data sources. Actually, everybody's talking about big data, but nobody is showing a flash. What is the result? So, what are the new data sources? Everybody's saying IoT, Internet of Things, is a new data source. The social media is a source. But nobody says that. How are they reading it? Does anybody have any idea? This, from the previous speakers from today or from other sessions or conferences you have been, can anybody tell me how companies harvest data from social media? Have you seen any company showing you that this is what we do, this is the data we gather from social media? Has anyone seen any live or demo or concept how people gather this? Anyone has any idea? Come on. We have been talking about this, right? Everybody's saying, I'm going to extract information from social media. Where is it? Who has shown this to you? No one? Going once? Going twice? Okay, solved. So nobody has seen it. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody has seen it, right? This is what we're talking about. Actually, I can show it to you. We have Facebook, we have Twitter partnerships, and we currently collect data from them and show the relevant piece which you want for your business. We call this, sometimes we read through the sentiment analysis of the people, that you give us a segment, market segment that you want us to look into. For example, all the young folks in Bangalore, aged from 18 to 28, what are they tweeting about food? Are they happy? What brands? You just give us this. And sometimes with the APIs, with the tools which we are creating, you don't have to code it. If you have a Watson cognitive API, you just tell, hey, Watson, IBM, or whatever you want to call, give a name, can you profile me these tweets or these Facebook messages and give me a market sentiment about my new product? This is all possible. I'm asking this because everybody's talking about it, but nobody is showing anything. I mean, but we have something to show, and that's what is our digital transformation with SAP is all about. I will give you some more examples about SAP products and IBM capabilities, so it will make more sense and it will resonate to you more. Let me go on. I talked about the cognitive applications. Without coding, only human natural language would be very, very important. I will give you more examples. I think on this side, it is very trivial. The data, SAP, and your already industry expertise and data you have within your company. Now, what we are trying to do in essence here is that we are trying to look for new intelligence in the market from other sources with the already intelligence you think that you have and merge them and to do better business. How do we do that? Now, this April, if you read the online magazines and the press, we announced a joint digital transformation program with SAP. This primarily talks about the IBM cognitive capabilities, cloud as the biggest enabler and power systems, SAP HANA, S4 HANA, Simple Finance, Simple Logistics, and the other modules which come around S4 HANA. I will give you a few more examples on the projects that we have been working on. so that, again, you will have more ideas. Now, what do? We simply, after this announcement, we try to tell our clients and partners that, hey guys, we invested this much, and we look at certain solutions, right? On S4HANA, Hybris, HCP, we look at our existing assets on IoTs especially. The IoTs are coming very, very popular, and I think there are a lot of new applications for this. For example, let me start to give examples so that people will not fall to right or left. We talk about IoTs and cognitive business, right? Does anyone heard about SAP predictive maintenance module in HANA? You have heard, right? What does it do, sir? Sorry, do we have the microphone around so that our colleagues can be heard? Excellent. Over there.
It will predict the maintenance intervals based on the historical or the seasonal based.
Yes.
That is the major useful of that module.
Excellent. Now, if I tell you that I have a methodology to take that historical data and statistical analysis and merge with something, what something can it be? Let's brainstorm together. What other information can it be for my predictive maintenance analysis? Any ideas? About your business, about what you're doing? Uh-huh.
Database you have,
Yes.
how much is being utilized,
Yes.
what kind of performance will get affected, when are you going to have the next shock?
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. So, for example, do you have seasonal demand that increases your database or your server utilization, your memory utilization rates? Maybe some of the companies have a lot more in the festival seasons, some have flat. So there are seasonalities, and there are some other exogenous factors. For example, the one which I would like to use most of the time is weather. Early this week I was in Mumbai, torrential rains, non-stop, and you should see the traffic. And what is the impact on your business, your transportation cycles, your equipment, your manufacturing equipment, or your trucks, or your aeroplanes? So what we are trying to say is, does anyone have any business impact? I'm just making some business case right now, that if this year's monsoon season takes 3 weeks more, what will be the impact on your business? Can be anything. Can be from the customer demand, can be from the road conditions or airport conditions, congestions, delays, anything. Do you know this upfront? Well, who would know? I can just guess. I hope it finishes, raining tomorrow. But if I give you this data, that the monsoon season is going to create 3 more weeks torrential rains, and this is the maintenance history you have in your company, and this is the transportation logistics network you have in your company, and this is the predicted impact on your business, and take measures now rather than seeing the effects 3 weeks later. So I think this is just an example that we are bringing from Weather Channel, which is an IBM company, all the microclimate information and weather forecasts into the business now. So don't underestimate it, because we have figured out, I also take care of Australia business in here. Last year, in a big Australian MNC mining company, we have done exactly a similar project with weather data. And you know what? We figured out that the extended seasonal weathers, such as long snow cycles or longer torrential rains, it has certain impact on the delivery equipment that they have. Could be trucks, could be aeroplanes, etc. Because the number of potholes increase, the number of slippages increase, etc., etc. And we figure out that if we do not dispatch those vehicles at certain times that we think that is not going to be feasible, they are going to save 15% on their maintenance costs, just on the logistics equipment. So these are the insights that we are trying to build. And these are the things that makes us wake up every day in our company to go to a client and to look for this type of exciting opportunities. Now, as a result, we look at all these applications in cognitive enabled by our cloud. Now, what we are doing is, with SAP and IBM teams, we are building industry models, not similar to the industry business solutions that you had in SAP previously in ERP, right? You have this. But what we are saying is that, hey, I have a, for example, hiring advisor tool, and it runs on your iPhone, your iPad, and you can talk to it, and it taps on Facebook, it taps on Twitter, it taps on your company database, and it taps on, let's say, your, whichever the HR system you use, which I'm going to make it connection to SuccessFactors here. It can access to your SuccessFactors, it can access to the social media, and it has a nice interface. So would you be interested in, trying out? Or I have, let's use Hybris. Let me try to think of a Hybris example. Let's say from Hybris. Again, I'm going to take the same example. When I'm in India, right now, after so many years in Asia, I'm not surprised with any of the power outages. It's a daily fact, right? But in business, it can be detrimental. So what if I tell you that I have a predictive tool, we call it heads-up weather updates, to tell you that due to the weather patterns or due to the infrastructure patterns that we are observing, these are the outages are expected, and it can push the email, SMS, WhatsApp to your account. So would you be interested to know that if your manufacturing facility is going to be out of power in the next 2 weeks so many times? Probably I would be interested in. So, and this, you can shoot out the information to your customers as well, internal and external. So we can integrate Hybris, we can integrate S4HANA, whatever you name it. Now, the beautiful part about all the digital transformation is, right now we are really talking about substance, that we are bringing all this together. Probably you have never seen this before. The only reason that you can see in IBM and SAP partnership is our cloud infrastructure and our cognitive capabilities, which can read this data. And now I would like to say that most of these tools, for example, are in our websites and available for tryout. One of the things which I would like to highlight here is, which makes me quite excited is, for example, the other day we were talking about how do you do the sentiment analysis, they're asking. We have APIs that read your mood analysis, your character analysis, and also we have tools that can read pictures. And we are working on tools that can read, that can extract data or insights from videos. What does that mean? We call it dark data, because today, whatever you generate in internet or in the whole globe, 80% of your data is dark, because you cannot analyze it. How many of you can analyze the 2 billion Facebook photos that are put onto the Facebook servers every day? Nobody. From the size, imagine, how much Excel files you would need just if you shoot a 10 seconds video, probably it would be 10,000 Excel files. But a picture or a video may say a lot better things about your business as well. If you have a youngster having your product or your facilities, taking a picture, smiley face, and you're not aware of it. Now, if you go to the IBM website, you can upload your file, and IBM Watson is going to tell you 80% probability that this is a smiling group of youngsters that are in a house looking at a product, something, looking at a TV, for example. So this type of insight from internet, from data sources is quite new. Nobody is able to do it yet. And people are talking about big data and small data and everything. I think this is what we talk about, big data. Big and dark at the moment, and we are trying to shed some light on it. So, what is the connection here? The connection is in the cloud. If you do not have a cloud platform, you are bound to stay at where you are. Now, this is a very bold statement. Why? Because you can only achieve the investment on cloud and on S/4HANA by reaching to stage 3 here. We are talking about S/4HANA. I have worked as a consultant at the initial phases of S/4HANA as well, and I can tell you that it's a great product. But what is your major business driver? You have to find out what is your major business driver. It is a disruptive technology. You have to be on it. I'm not questioning if you have to be on it, but when and under what conditions. So there are two things here that I would like to repeat. S/4HANA technologies and cloud come together hand in hand, and it's not a question of if you want to go for it. It's a question of when you are going to go for it. Mark my words. It is the most important point here which you have to remember is what is your business driver? What is your high business value? I don't want to talk about thin air, but I want to give you an example. One of our airline customers, when I was a S/4HANA consultant as well, looking at consultant work, we did a pricing sensitivity analysis for them. Now, seeing an MRP running like a flash may excite you, right? But have you quantified it? When you go for a website for an airline, the moment you go in, it's 2,000 rupees. The next moment you go in, it becomes 5,000 rupees. The moment you come back, it's 3,000 rupees. Now, do you know how many times they change their pricing, dynamic pricing every day? Well, not every airline can do that. They have buckets. Certain airlines at the moment, including the major airlines in India, I know, and in AP, they say, okay, this air flight is, I have 10 tickets for this class, 10 tickets for this class, and until they consume this. But some of the airlines in the region do it differently because we help them out to do that. You know why? Because in the background, they have the capability to run the pricing simulation analysis. If you run an MRP, not once in a day, but every 10 minutes without straining your system, tell me the impact on your agility and tell me the impact on your procurement improvement or lead time improvement or your fill rate improvement. You have to figure out your high-value business driver. And when we were talking about that dynamic pricing with the airline, we estimated that by bringing this tool, at least, don't ask me how that number came in. We had a lot of calculations in. The figure was 1.76%. It's not a great figure, right? I mean, and then we looked at it and say, okay, but it's not cash flow. It's pure profit. And if you look at a 10 billion business annual, immediate 170 million, and the moment I kick my colleagues and say that, guys, I mean, this is a great number. I mean, it's like 20 times the ROI of our cost here. So you have to look at S/4HANA and cloud investments from this perspective. If you go back to the Stone Age, comparing the Stone Age tablets with your iPad tablets, they are both tablets, right? Comparing your certain infrastructure, your current infrastructure with tomorrow's high business value infrastructure, I see no difference comparing the two tablets. So if you look at only storage cost, IT cost, how many servers, you're going to make a big mistake. But still, right now, the volume economies of scale in cloud is working. You will still, believe me or not, you will still do some savings in there. But those savings will be minimal compared to your high-value business savings. So think about it. I'm ready to, share with you some ideas within your industry after the session in the afternoon as well. The highlight of this chart and actually overall conversation is that what is your high business value that you want to extract from your business? If you can do your business a lot faster with S/4HANA on a cloud platform, if you can do certain things a lot faster, what is the area that is going to bring you the most amount of savings or revenue or profit, etc.? That is the question that you have to answer now or in the next couple of days. So let me move on. I'm going to be a bit faster. My time is running. We also have a partnership at SAP on HANA Enterprise Cloud. So this is a special cloud package that comes with certain SLAs. So IBM and SAP has been working very closely, and I also manage the HEC HEC relationship in the region as well. Now, let me talk about the cloud I know, which is IBM Cloud, without going into too much of marketing and selling. Why Bill signed the agreement with Ginny? These are the two CEOs sitting there. Why Bill did that? Bill is a very clever guy, right? I mean, he's managing the company for so many years. He's a great guy. I'll tell you why he chose. From my perspective, I could have written like 20 more, but I just picked a few. Because for many independent bodies, we have been already highlighted and appointed as the world leader in hybrid cloud. Because at the moment, the reality is this: hybrid cloud is the way to go. No business can be, unless it's born in cloud. The established businesses today, you cannot say that, hey, I can go 100% pure cloud. If you do so, I will say, brilliant, let's do that. But many of the businesses, you will see regulatory constraints, you will see financial constraints, you will say that no, customer data cannot go out, etc. So what we believe is the cloud is actually, should be a hybrid cloud. If it is pure cloud, better. But we accept the reality. So we are ranked as #1 in hybrid cloud providers in the world. The next thing is that we have invested over $3.6 billion in the past few years on our infrastructure. So our clients are already using this investment. So I think there is no sweeter spot than using somebody else's investment for your own good. So the best part is the dark fiber network that we have. Across all our data centers are connected to each other. So which brings the security, speed, and cost effectivity as well. The next thing is the free data transfer we have across our data centers. So once you're in IBM Cloud, you can move your data around. And we support 47 of 50 Fortune 500 companies, the top 50. And I can tell you the other 3 is our competitors, so we cannot put there. So don't. I want to set the expectation right. For example, we have the closest competitor on the number of hosting sites, for example, is the booksellers, which they claim to be the #1 in the world for the cloud business. I think the booksellers has a shop in India as well, aws.co.in. So their business is online shopping. Our business is infrastructure and managed services. So, and we power more than 270,000 websites than the booksellers. So I think these are the important things. And when you look at the revenue numbers, if you add our infrastructure and managed services, IBM Cloud is the top revenue share in the world for the cloud business. We are already year to year over 10 billion revenue, so it's growing. Now, how is our map? Why I put all this map is that I want to show you this. Actually, my geography is not that bad. I know that Chennai is a bit south, but somehow these arcs that we used were not coming down. So bear with me, my geography is good. We have our first data center in Chennai operationalized last year, December. And as of now, as of August this year, we are running the full SAP workloads in our data center in Chennai. Now, I want to tell you one thing to manage the expectations on the cloud. today's world, we have a very big cultural dilemma that we see in our users, especially in India and maybe in the other parts of Asia. They think the cloud is like their servers sitting in their data center, or like their machines that they want to sit down and touch every day. Oh, this is my precious data. I see it. I feel safe. Actually, I see it a bit different, and I want to make it very simple. For me, cloud is some kind of electric socket you have there. Do you mind where does it come from? No, right? As long as you're plugged in, do you get the power? Yes. So for me, cloud is the same. That's the philosophy of cloud. Whenever I go in, if I'm in US, when I'm plugged in, I should be online. If I'm in India, plugged in, online. So actually for me, the service center should not matter much, but in terms of connectivity, or sometimes we have regulatory or legal constraints so that we have a big coverage globally. But I think this is one of the things that we have to mentally or culturally prepare our ecosystem as the whole digital transformation group, that cloud is cloud. You cannot tie up to any country or any location per se, unless it's legal or regulatory authorized. Now, I want to say one sentence on this. We support virtually everything, except maybe 1, 2, 3 applications which just came in, which are not certified by SAP even themselves yet. So if you are planning to run SAP on cloud, well, I can say that I have a list of 700 SAP applications. As long as SAP supports from OSS nodes, as long as the product is still in support, we are able to handle in cloud. And these are the operating systems we have and the vast choice of databases, so we can do virtually anything. So this is a bit of the IBM cloud sales part. Please bear with me. I'm finishing in a few minutes with some question marks in the end, which I'm going to ask you. Now, for us, cloud is also flexibility. We understand that our clients and partners, they have basis team, they have internal teams which are handling all these systems. Now, what we say is there are different options, and we know the motives while you are going into the cloud. Why you are going into the cloud? Because you want agility, you want faster time to market for your product, so you want to go on S/4HANA. You want simplification because you don't want to work with all these servers and procurement of these chipsets and everything. You want to do someone else. Let someone else take care of it. So this is what we call simplification, and shift to OpEx. It's so simple. I mean, these are the main 4 drivers that I see while our customers, SAP running customers, move on to cloud. But while doing that, I think you should have some options. One option is you can either have IaaS level, but I would not really suggest that because it defeats the whole purpose. Again, you come back to your own operating model. I lease you the servers, that's it. The second one is managed OS, managed database, and full managed services. So think about it, what you need before jumping onto the cloud journey. And if you want to talk to us on what level support we need, try to make your options big and different, and choose whichever it fits you well. And for us is we can host anything on production, dev, test, QA, etc. We are HANA and non-HANA certified. I think the best thing about cloud is business-centric SLAs. What is the business-centric SLAs? I'm shooting a bit of my time. I need a bit 5 or 10 minutes, 5 minutes more. Business-centric SLAs is what you should be looking at. Because most of the time when we speak there are functional SLAs. When you turn on your handphone, does it work? Oh yeah, it works. 99.9999. Okay, I've done my SLA. I think it's not enough. The next thing I'm going to ask, when you turn it on and try to reach a file from here, can you see it? Well, that is a OS level, DB level, well, fine. And the main point is, well, if you turn on your SAP or your WhatsApp here, does it work? that is the 99.99% you should be looking at, the far right portion of it. So I think it is very important because when you look into the industry, especially the IaaS cloud platform providers, such as AWS or Microsoft Azure, they will usually go for IaaS part of it, the far left side of it. And they will tell you 99.999 is going to be on. You'll be on cloud. I'll tell you this, 99.9, when you press, yeah, you will see some light, but you will never know whether your SAP is running fast, your MRP is running in 1 second. That's the difference. So you have to know your SLA. So that is my biggest advice if you will take from this conversation is look up your SLAs and see where they are. And the last one which I would like to talk about is the startup bundles. People go for agility, normal procurement for a server procurement cycle that you have may take 1 to 3 months. I can give you a cloud S/4HANA system within 3 days. So that is the startup bundle we have, and it virtually costs nothing to you. Okay, another simple comparison. I think what you know, speed doesn't always kill, but speed sometimes gives you cost savings. In which case, I think our chipset technology, our cores, produces more subs than any other player in the market. If you are not, I would very crudely put subs as the horsepower generated by a car engine. Horsepower generated by a server is number of subs, how many subs you generate. And usually we size your systems in cloud by looking at the subs needs that you would need for each system. So I think what this slide tells you is that I can use less cores to give you the same number of subs, hence you'll do some savings, right? So that is one thing. And the last thing is, I talked about this earlier to you. We shouldn't target at the IT cost savings, but rather look at the bigger realm of picture and see the business, high-value business driver, why you want to move into S/4HANA and cloud. Now, this is a small part. If you still want to see whether is it going to cost you a bump or is it going to cost you the same or would you do some savings, what we have is we have a tool called Alenian in IBM, and you can go and try it for yourself. I think this deck is going to be available for the attendees after the event. And this tool basically looks at many things: your corporate hourly rate, interest rate of the country, how many users you have, how many systems. You can do it by yourself. It's so easy. And in the end, what it shows you is what is your projected savings in terms of total cost of ownership and time to value. And it gives you a nice report, and even in a PowerPoint format that you can generate automatically at no cost to you. So if you want to do a TCO analysis on moving to cloud on SAP or not, that is a tool you may want to take a look at. And my last slide. After half an hour, I managed to see nobody slipping to the side, right or left. Thank you very much for your attention. And these are the 3 things I would like to recap. First, and most important, what is your hype? What is your high-value business driver? As I tell you, our airline customer redid the dynamic pricing. Actually, the actual figure, I forgot to tell you, we estimated 1.76. They got 1.5. And it was almost 100 million US in a single initiative. What is your high business value driver? Come up with something. That will be a building case for your transformation to S/4HANA as well. And then we'll come in and help you how to come to that point. SAP and IBM teams together. With mobility, with cloud, with APIs we have. This is the main thing which you have to think after this session. Plan to make a plan to find out the value driver for your business. And it's not like, shouldn't be peanuts. It should be something big. The next thing is, SAP and IBM are jointly on a transformation journey for digital, and they are looking into cognitive solutions, S/4HANA, mobility, Apple integration, and we can make a difference. Now, I started with an airline example. I will finish my speech with an airline example. Nowadays, when I go into Singapore Airlines, they have a small iPad, and that's where they can tell you, oh, you have a special meal where you're sitting at it, and oh, Mr. Sudesh, Mr. Vivek, rather than seeing a huge passenger manifest and trying to go around it, if you take a flight, it's still in the pilot phase, we are still helping them out. Ask for the stewardesses, they will be surprised. How do you know that? Most of the time they think that I'm from Singapore Airlines stuff. And I said, no, we just help you to build out that. I mean, it's no problem. But they will be impressed and they will come and show you that, hey, I mean, yeah, this is all we can do. We are very happy now. So things are changing. Businesses are changing. That was my last example. I started with airline, finishing with airline. And then the last thing is, we do a lot of work with SAP on HANA Enterprise Cloud. If you want a hassle-free cloud on HANA implementation, I would suggest that you may look into HANA Enterprise Cloud. And we will be there to help you. All right, I think my time is very well up. Thank you very much for your attention. And if any questions, I can take.
Thank you.
Later.
Yeah,
Thanks.
So you're around, so we're running short on time. So